Hello and welcome to the series about Rugby League betting review for the Leeds versus Wigan game in the Super 8 tonight. It's live on Sky as it should be. Classic game between the top two in the league, and for me probably the best two teams in the league. Yes, Saints have pushed them both close, but I think just pushed, I would say Leeds and Wigan could be the grand final this year. Now Wigan get 6 points start on the handicap, and bearing in mind Leeds have got a lot of big games coming up. I just think they could well stay inside that. I think this will be a really close game. I think it's probably a bigger game for Wigan. I think if Leeds win, they'll probably guarantee finishing top, but I just, I think Wigan could win this, but I mean, they're only 7-4. I probably want a bit more than that, given Wigan aren't playing great away from home. Yes, they've got the monkey off the back, won a few good wins at Huddersfield and Hull in the last couple of months, but then Burgess is missing. That Burgess could be a real miss tonight. Every time Wigan have beaten Leeds this season, it's twice. We're going to lead 2-1 in the 3 games. Burgess has been outstanding. I remember a try scored just before half time which turned the game at magic. He left Hardacre for dead, and honestly with Sack's form this season there's not many people done that. I think he'll be a big miss for Wigan tonight, but I think they could get within the 6 point handicap definitely. Leeds, they're 4-9 to win the game, but if you disagree with me and you fancy Leeds, you can boost that to 5-6 by taking them on the half time, full time. Like I say, I'm just not sure about Leeds tonight. Yes, they were fantastic last week in absolutely putting Warrington to the sword, but Warrington were poor on the night, and I think the last time Wigan beat Leeds had just come off a really, really good win against Saints the week before, and Wigan managed to turn the tide. And again, like I said, Wigan just beat Leeds at the DDB last time, and yes, Leeds could have had a try disallowed. That would have been a classic try, but it was rightly disallowed by the referee. And like I say, even with that try, Wigan would still have stayed inside tonight's handicap. I think Leeds will miss Ayton as well. He's played his last game for Leeds. He's out with a hand injury. He won't be back now between now and the end of the season. I think he's off to Catalan next year, and that'll be a big miss. Now this could free up McIlaurin. He could probably control this game from Dunny half. Now one of the match punters might look to McIlaurin. He's about 20-1. I think he could have a decent game. He's a Leeds lad, so he'll be in the minds of the Sky commentators. He's starting to play well, McIlaurin, just now, just when it's coming to the business end of the season. He never ever takes a backward step. I know people think, he has a bit of a rough streak, but he's managed to keep that in check this season. So I think 20-1 for McIlaurin to be man of the match, that's decent value, that, to be fair. As for Leeds, if they're going to win the game, I don't think he'll look further than Hardacre. He's playing out of his skin at the minute. He's vying for the number 1 England shirt now with Tompkins, and I don't think anyone thought anyone would get anywhere near rivaling Tompkins for that jersey. I think there's people now even starting to suggest that maybe he could play at 1 and Tompkins could play at 6. For me, I think there's more likely that Zach might play at centre with Tompkins at 1. I do think Steve McNamara might want to play Tompkins' bigger attacking threat in the fullback jersey, but I think that's for later on in the season. We'll have to see what happens. Now, first try punters, it's really hard to believe they've got such a strong back line. They score tries for fun. They're all scoring tries. Briscoe, Hall, Watkins, Hardacre. Maybe just prefer Watkins at centre this time. I think he could just get over the line. Now, as for Wigan, now Burgess is a fantastic player. He's after the NRL. He's going to shine. I think he'll do really well over there. Now, just behind him is Manfredi. Now, this guy looks a real prospect too. He's a bit of a tank on the wing, to be fair. He's a bit tall. He reminds me a bit of Justin Carney. He barges over the line. He's a fantastic finisher. So I think them two about 11-12-1. I think they could be my first try picks tonight. They're decent value, to be fair. But like I said, I do fancy Wigan to stay inside 6. They're just starting to get it together this time of the year. Wigan normally do. Sean Wynn normally manages to get it just about right at the right time. Like I said, 2 years ago they won the double. But I would err on the side of caution. It worked for us last night. Like I said, we'd tip Warrington. But we did say, take the 2 point handicap, and obviously they lost by a point, they lost by the drop goal. So if you back Warrington on the handicap last night, like we suggested, you still get paid out. So it does always pay to take a little bit of extra insurance. Now there's 2 other games tonight. St Helens go host Hull FC. They're giving Hull FC a 14 point start. Now, don't get me wrong, Hull FC have 4-1 to win the game. The season's over now. They defeated Castleford last week, ended the season. They've got nothing really to play for except pride. So I can't see them going to Saints and winning. I mean, they won there earlier in the season, and 4-1. I mean, that's a big price if that's the way you go. But I fancy Saints to win this. But Hull FC are scoring a lot of tries. The likes of Lynham are getting over the line. So I think they can stay inside a 14 point handicaps. Somewhere between 6 and 10 for me in this one, I think. Now, in the final game, you've got Huddersfield conceding 10 at home to Catalan. Now, Huddersfield have been very, very consistent this year. Since they lost in April to Salford, they've only actually been beaten by the 3 teams above them in the league. Nobody else below them in the league's actually beat them this season. Catalan's away form is absolutely shocking. We always know that. It always is to travel well. They don't seem to have found a solution to it. I know the players are very, very frustrated about it. Like I said, if you speak to Scott Jury, he'll tell you that most of the squad now have been there for a few years. They should be used to the travel by now, but they don't seem to have got the hang of it. OK, Carney is back in the side, which will give them a real lift. But, I mean, he's been back in the squad before and not managed to play, so whether or not he actually turns out is another matter. So you've got to fancy Huddersfield to win that by more than 10. And like I said, they are quite consistent. OK, Wakefield scored a few points last week, but Huddersfield get it back together. Castleford moved level on points with them last night, so they've really got it to do. And I think they play Castleford in a couple of weeks. They want to be ahead of the Tigers before that game. So for me tonight, like I say, I fancy Wigan on the handicap. I fancy Hull FC to stay inside 14, but I like I said, I don't think they'll win the game. And I fancy Huddersfield to win something like 16 to 20 points against Catalan. We'll see how it goes and follow us over the weekend. See you later.